So good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Good afternoon or good morning, depending on where you're calling from. Please, thank you so much for joining us in today's live session, where we're going to talk about the Digital Africa tools which can help you reporting on sustainable development goals. Today to be a session overview, and the next one will be in French. And just to get you started, so Digital Africa has been there the last 4 years, and the opportunity has been to support various sectors from agriculture, water, land, coastal, and urbanization, leaving no one behind. More specifically, now in the context of today, to show you some of the tools which we'll be using in the sandbox. Most of you are familiar with the Digital Africa map, and of course, our platform is accessible in other GIS software, ArcGIS, Esri, and we also have free learning training resources for everybody. So Earth observation has been used in the recent times supporting sustainable development goals from food security, SDG 1, and also looking at other SDGs from water extent, looking at cities, looking at climate action, life below ocean, and life on land, where we talk about monitoring land degradation, forest cover. So these are some of the sources of information gathered from the World Economic Forum. So Digital Africa in the sandbox, there are various tools which we'll be able to show you again, giving you an opportunity to access the various notebooks to support Earth observation for SDGs from agriculture, water, vegetation, urbanization, land degradation, and coastal marine, and also an opportunity for using your own machine learning notebooks from beginner to advanced, leaving no one behind. So in the context of the tools, there's been a lot of literature and support the statistics offices, especially as noted by the Committee of Earth Observation for Systems Handbook, and also from our side, supporting the various governments, supporting the various tools, from looking at crop productivity, water extent, looking at land degradation, looking at mangroves, looking at coastal erosion. So in the context of Digital Africa, we have also some champions who've supported us. From example, we had a champion from World Food Program. She was using the program to support SDG 241. She had a technical challenge with the European Union, as she got this opportunity. Then more specifically, these are the notebooks that we're able to see from vegetation climatology, looking at rainfall estimates, land cover. Crop health is of interest, which we'll be able to look at vegetation phenology in optical and radar, also looking at forecasting vegetation. So in the context of water extent, we've had champions like Dr. Kilebogi, University of Botswana, looking at the water assessment, monitoring Lake Gami in Okavango, Botswana. Then also looking at water extent, recently looking at monitoring chlorophyll, for example, the Lake Chivero in Zimbabwe. Also, we have the cropland extents for Africa and seeing how that interface with irrigation areas, and also the water detection using the water observation from space, and also Sentinel-2 at 10 meters, and also recently how you can use Sentinel-1 data to help us this tool. Also, we have the Wetland Insight tool, which is very informative. So goal number 9, we have support for industrialization and also sustainable development, looking at urban area mapping using Sentinel-1 and 2, as well as adding more data from the global human settlements to do more validation. And more specifically in SDG 11, we had engagements with a champion in Uganda, was looking at urban growth in Gulu in Uganda, and we used the urban extent using Sentinel-2. Then also use the urban index, which incorporates data from the global human settlements. Then recently, Digital Africa added the data on the world settlements footprint, which gives you a snapshot between 2015 2019. And they updated the recent data for 2023. This is from the European Space and the German Aerospace Agency. And more specifically in the context of climate action, supporting the urban area mapping, of course, monitoring of coastal erosion, which is very key, And of course, there was a notebook as well on how you can identify ships using Sentinel-1, which is a key tool which is used by Global Monitoring of Environment and Security, GMES and Africa program in Northern Africa, and other tools as well. And more specifically in the goal 14, looking at how you can monitor chlorophyll using Sentinel-2 data, as well as mapping mangroves, and the one on the ship detection is Sentinel-1. And also more specifically, you'll be able to do examples of your choice. We also have land cover datasets to support forest area mapping, global mangrove watch, fractional cover, as well as monitoring of mangrove extent. Also, we have indicator 15.1.2, and still on the mangroves, and we had a specific use case. And 15.3.1, we have now supporting land degradation, of which we've developed some tools with our partner in Observation Sahel in Tunisia and partner Afrigist to develop some learning modules on land degradation. Also having an opportunity to look at surface mining, examples of Ghana and other examples. So I'll just have to pause a little bit and now take you to the Digital Africa platform so that we can be able to see where we can start from today. So most of you have been registered on this wonderful platform, which is a very nice platform, making sure we are all connected from anywhere in the world. And we have many examples. For example, this is the sandbox environment where you have a free login. And when you look at the various folders, you'll see a folder on SDGs. And now this particular notebook has been compiled to show you all these examples that I was able to discuss with you. And now specifically, we can look at, for example, one on the crop health as we discuss further, crop extent, vegetation climatology. So whenever you click on one, it opens on a new tab. Then the other one on crop health, for example, we can be able to go through each one of them. And this crop health just requires you to, look for an area of interest and look at the dates and the phenology, etc., etc. And the data sets are available, as you can know, Sentinel-2 every 5 days. And this is just one of the examples where you can actually save and run and start, and we can see the results as you continue. Then with the vegetation climatology, we can see gives you over 30 years of data, which is very indicative of looking at the extreme events in Africa. So this is an example of somewhere selected in Cape Town, just show you how much area vegetation has changed over time. And this can be very informative to inform governments over time. You can even look at the phenology within 1 year and see how the trend has been. And these can even guide us in areas where we have irrigation. And this one is trying to combine with the cropland extent. And you can see that from the legend, the areas closer up to yellow, you can see areas of good irrigation and at different dates of phenology. So for example, around May, June, we can notice some very good indications, and these change over time. So this gives you an phenology, for example, if they are growing some grapes around Stellenbosch, for example. We can also look at the vegetation count, different times. You can see good vegetation count around May and June, for example. Then you can do much more analysis on the same, plotting a phenology curve, which can be very instrumental, indicating possible, harvesting around this time in June, July, where we harvest a lot of wine around this time, and Southern Cape, Southern West Cape, there's Western Cape, starting the season, end of a season. So this one you can use for any region that you know of. It's just a matter of changing the extents and seeing how it will work for certain areas. So in case you have an area of your choice, you can just paste to the chart, then we can be able to look at it together. Then on this one, we'll be able to look at a specific crop area on the crop health. So I can see some examples of 2 parcels of land and see how this one was comparing with the other one. It's just an indication. You can see the phenology. Then I can look at another area. For example, this is just an example on the SDG 2, just giving you an indication on how it works. You can see a plot on the second one. Then you can plot another one and you can see how it compares. So that one, yes, the third one. So you can look at our area and see indicatively how things have changed over time, as you can see. So this one, you can change it for any area. And for example, this region, we could actually take it and put it in the phonology notebook. Just a matter of changing your extents to actually see how the new region will look. So all examples are possible. That's a good with this Digital Africa platform, empowering everybody from all these countries in Africa to make sure you can use a platform which can work for your examples, for your research, or for your, experiments, etc., etc. So that's just an example. This one will let it run for now as we look at other examples because we are only looking at SDGs. So that was just SDG 2. Then on the water, we can look at the one on the chlorophyll, which the default example will be the one for Lake Chivero in Zimbabwe. And this one, you can always change for any area that you have. And you can see how that will be. So this one, you can see it from space at different times, and we're just using an index, the water, and more specifically for the Sentinel-2, you can use the normalized difference chlorophyll index. It gives you an idea of how the landscape is over time. Same here, just giving you a summary of those opportunities and examples you have and how you can actually share these with your friends and colleagues. And you can look at any area of your choice. And this other one, this one I had to stop it because it was going for a big area. So this is where you can do your manipulation of your, program codes, etc., to see if you are moving within a nice area. At least this is something we'd like to capture, for example. So then you can just restart and run it all. So this gives you an opportunity of how easy it is to move from one to one. Then the water extent, we can look at the various examples. The water observation from space, for example, which is very key for us, and looking over 35 years of data. And we also have the, if you need to reference to some of this data, as I remember, I had the request from someone if they can refer these data in their publication and work. And these layers can be very useful, for example, capturing the water bodies, and you can see it from space at different times. And this was an example of Lake Ngami, different times. And as from 1984 to 2022, you can see the trends. But recently, if you confirm on your Digital Africa map, you can see the situation is quite different. So this one, you can always copy this on your Digital Africa map, just to show you how you can always navigate from one platform to another, just to confirm some of the results that you see. And this one now you can add your water observation from space, and you can have the example of having annual summaries, and you can change the legend to show you the extent of good to, so anything good to blue. And when we go towards this side of zero, we are looking at drought. And you can see the situation in 2022 was not so good. Then the same time, you can always add a Sentinel-2 image to confirm what you saw and if it's the situation on the ground. So this one you filter by the area, and you can still now narrow down to the index. So it's a little bit cloudy. So we can look for a cloud-free image, which was captured just 23rd of June last month. And you can see the indication of water. Even when you look at the mean water index, there's nothing. So it's quite a drought period, as you've seen now. But I think with time, things will improve. And just to confirm how the situation was a few years ago, you can look at 2013, for example. The situation was better. But going back to 2008, slightly dry, and there was some rains around this time, 2010, 2011. And you can just see the situation improve. But now the situation goes on board declining. So this is just to confirm that any of the tools you can always confirm on the Digital Africa map, and you can see how it has actually been drying over time. So that's just to confirm some of the results you see from the platform, and you can always change it for any area. We also have the water detection using Sentinel-1 as well. Example areas coupled with cloud cover, and also we have the urban area extent using Sentinel-1, machine learning using DataCube. This one now you can actually run in your scripts for your particular code, and you can run to train it for any activity. For example, this one was done to extract some land cover information in Gulu in Uganda. So these tools are there for you for disposal and free, and you're able to work with them. And also we generate specific notebooks and specific examples, such as this live session, to keep you engaged on how you can use this tool. So this one was actually used to get an example of Kampala, and it's just a training model and giving it some input. And the input here for this example will be some shapefile for the area of interest, which captures the urban area labels. So this one is normally stored somewhere in your supplementary data, for example, if you are looking at this example, just giving you the opportunity of how it is very easy to navigate and put in your data sets. So this was just files, drag and drop, and you can clip it for an area of interest. So all these notebooks are here for you to explore and making sure that you're empowered to make sure that we have sustainable Africa where that we want, looking at the mangroves, looking at extents on the mangroves, various examples. And we have also the band area mapping. And recently, in the next session in English, after a week, we'll look at band area mapping near real time with some different examples. So this band area uses Sentinel-2 data, which is very key at 10 meters to unlock those potential areas, and just making sure that you're aware of the region that you're working on, and more specific examples, just changing the extents or clipping in your area of interest, and you'll be able to have some of the results of the area where you actually have the band area activity. So this is where you actually have to input some of the data sets for the fire hotspot. So that's just an example of the hotspot mapping. On the climatology, which we were running just a few minutes ago, it will be able to give you some results of the area that I was showing. And you can actually see just a small trend, and it's possible to look at any region of your choice. So this one was a very small region that was just the clouds, that since it's a Landsat, you need to give it some bigger area, for example, and that will be the situation. So at least having a balance of something which is manageable, a big agricultural zone, for example. So I was just trying to zoom in to some farms in Senegal, and this one, of course, you rather run it at 10 meters with Sentinel-2. But for other bigger areas, like the ones I showed you earlier on for Cape Town, required a big data, you can work at 30 by 30. So these are the many opportunities, and any shapefile that you work with, for example, you can always export and save it with your name. You save the notebook, for example, and you can put it with your name. So like this one is the default location should be the real world example that it shows you. So that one is just something on the mangroves. This is the default location for the mangroves, etc., etc. On the radar detection using Sentinel-2, we can look at the example, just looking at some area of our interest, and you can always confirm the area, like on your maps. You just come on your maps and so that you can verify some areas before you do your big data analysis, for example. It gives you just an idea of comparison. So this is around Senegal, near Kokoloba, south of Senegal, for example. It's an example showing you an area of intervention. And here we are looking at area which is prone to a lot of cloud cover. And we can just look at that estuary from space. And I know it's normally called Kosemans. Remember the name? Yes, it's Kosemans River estuary. From the coast inside to the inside Senegal. So that one now, we're just looking at the results. Now this one is using Sentinel-1. You can visually the various indices And of course, from the various combinations of the bands, you can, then there's a filter, and you can actually get some more information about the region and the different times. And you can see the area classified as water, just a small area just to confirm. And so the small area that you've just picked, you can actually see it's this one. We can have the water observation from space, or actually now we can even add the Sentinel-1 data here so that we can actually see how it is easy to navigate the platform, so that now you can be able to present to us some of your work in the next session. This will be very inspiring for us. So you can see the various dates, and you can always compare whenever you get the bands. But now this one only shows you the radar vegetation index, not yet with the water index. But you can always have two images of the same and different dates and just compare what has been happening. For example, in the recent floods in Kenya, you would have shown something like Masinga Dam, for example. You can just get the extents, the area, and so once you have the region, once you come here, you can just check some extents of the area. Then we can view them on the map to see how the situation was before water and after water. So the rainfall events were in so this one I'll be able to show you shortly. Let me first get the actual maps. So in that case, this gives you an opportunity on how to work with the various data sets. Just as an example, there are many examples that we could look at. Because of time, we just narrow down with the time we have. And of course, from this map, of course, you can always generate something. So you can look at the radar, which is the daily one with Sentinel-1, and you can see some of the results. For example, you might need to confirm if the event happened, and you can look at the same example on the sandbox as well. So I was just trying to save you some time on the maps so that you can have somewhere to start with. So the event happened around the 1st March and around the 1st of May. And here you'll be able to see very interesting results if you can observe. So on the left is one captured on the 19th of April, and the one on the right is captured on the 1st of May. So you can see the areas in yellowish, red, yellow, orange, showing areas which were flooded after the rainfall event on it was the 25th, 27th of April. So you can see how that one is affected, and you can generate this story and copy and share on the chat, or share the story as a story map. So this is just some of the examples. Whatever you see, you can still run on this platform, and it can be able to show you. That was the purpose of that particular demonstration. You can change the years, you can change the extents, and for example, the extents that I get here, I can be able to see from the platform. And here you can see the extents. So these are the ones which you just need to confirm on your map to see that you're actually getting the exact points. And now you can just add them on your map, the latitude and longitude, and they just, you can put in your region, for example, and then you can see how it works. And of course, you remember to save your work in case you log out and you need to access it, or you can actually export some of the screenshots, and then we can let it run, just as an example. So that was the water observation from space. We had the crop health, which you've seen, and we also have other many notebooks. And just as that one was compiling, it will be able to show some of the results. So in case you stop at an area, you can always change the buffer area to be a little bit bigger. That's how you can work. Just change the extents to see how you're able to work. So in this case, I need to work on a bigger area. So then now you make it like 0.1. be able to capture at least bigger area. Then you can run and get the results as we wait for it to run. And there are many tools and examples that you've seen. And when now I share back to the slides that I had, is an opportunity now for us to connect with you, and you can be able to run some of your notebooks, some examples, or even share with us some of your use cases. So this was an example of forecasting vegetation and SDG2. And also the one on Lake Gami, I was able to share the work from Dr. Kilobogi. And we had another situation in Lake Lunga, Tanzania, which was affected by floods and later drought. So in the sandbox, it captures the different times, and you can see the times of drought and restoration of the ecosystem. We also have the water observation showing you the changes, various water bodies, the big ones, Lake Chad, Lake Tanganyika, Lake Baringo. It's an example of Lake Siba in South Africa. It's in Sentinel-2, and using the mean difference water index, you can see the trend over time. And here you can see some areas where the government has done some restoration efforts. And the same one, you're looking at the water bodies, you can just confirm the trend over time from the 80s to actually currently. And looking at the flood extent, we worked with our partner Afrijis to demonstrate one of these examples for Lokoja in Nigeria. Then we also have the wetlands insight tool, looking at the SDG 6, water extent. And I was talking about the urbanization, SDG 11. And finally, we had the support from the mangroves in Zanzibar, Tanzania, which was a very good story with the State University of Zanzibar, with the lecturers and their students, and the youth mappers working with the community in the restoration efforts. And lately, we had engagements where the sea observation, there was an update of the coastal risk vulnerability map with one of the government institutions in South Africa, and they're able to show the extent of the coastline in KwaZulu-Natal, and just some changes over to Gale River, where there's a lot of coastal erosion as well as floods events. And the same one was captured by a journalist in South Africa, showing you this almost the same area, but around Etiakini in Dapan, showing you the area over time and how this has changed over time. Actually, it was around Umgeni River, and you can see the extents and how impactful it is to support communication. And this one was supporting life below water, looking at the chlorophyll and how quality of water can affect flamingos as well as the fish, and also looking at reforming of giraffes using this earth observation. And this example, we were able to show the floods in Lake Baringo they were really, they happened around September, and this particular time, September 2021, the events were so high that the giraffes had to be located around April of 2021 from the events of 2020 September. So Earth observation is very key, and as Digital South Africa supporting the various engagements, these are specific use cases for looking at food availability for the conservancies and providing these different seasons and phenology to support conservancy and peaceful coexistence with the livestock and communities. And this one is supporting snow cover in the mountains, SDG 15, and this is an example of Mount Kilimanjaro. You can see the snow cover in red somehow declining over time. Aspect of climate change is really with us. And finally, we have the free online courses, which are there for you to be part of. It's you get a certificate of completion once you finish, and you'll be really empowered through a lot of work, especially your research and academia and other works. And there are many ways to connect with us, like these live sessions and acknowledging the partners who've made our work very successful. Finally, just how you can connect with us and making sure we leave you no behind. And just as a summary, I could share the link with some of the results and give you an opportunity for intervention. And thanking you so much for being part of the live session. So this one will be able to run, and you'll be able to see some of the results and the sandbox and the user guide, and finally the learning resources that I talked about in English and French. And recently we have the service in water bodies, a very nice course for you to go and try. And whenever you complete a course, you'll see your certificate. that is in English and French. And thanking you guys for being part of the Digital South Africa community, because through your support, we'll be able to capture a lot, leaving no one behind, and all the countries are included. Thank you so much. Just pausing for any question. So in case there's no question, I will make the recording of this session available after this session. I'm just recognizing the partners who've been with us, especially my colleague Joseph. How are you, sir?
Hi, Kenneth. I'm doing good. Nice to be part of this session. See you next Wednesday, French. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And acknowledging our partners from Tunisia, Anis.
Good morning, Kenneth. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for this presentation, and it was really interesting, and even the theme of the different elements are really good and comprehensible, and thank you.
Thank you so much, Anis. I know you'll be doing this best in French, so thank you so much, merci beaucoup. And looking at our partner, Rodrigue Lele in Burkina Faso, if he has any comment for us or question.
Thank you very much for the presentation. So, okay, that's good. Are you listening to me?
Yes.
Okay, that's fine. Okay, good morning, everybody. So I'm really happy to be with you once more, presenting all the database that we have in this platform is very useful. I myself did not know that we have a notebook for machine learning inside, so we always need to know what is new in that platform, and it's very interesting. Now I have a small question for Dr. Kenneth. Please, is there any way that we can have a short, maybe a short delay for the images? I mean the availability of the short time for the availability of the images. It seems that we are following some natural events that can be immediate or maybe in a short time. I'm asking that because sometimes we need to see things coming before we react. So what is the minimum time that we can have those images, those information available on the platform? I don't know if you have listened to, if you have understand what I mean.
Yes, so thank you so much. So for example, we can just look for an area of interest. So the Sentinel is available every 5 days, and the Landsat is every 2 weeks. And for example, if would you like somewhere in Burkina Faso, for example? So looking at this example, for example, we can just look at the images together with you. For example, we have Sentinel-2 data. You can filter by location, and you can see the images which are available for our Gadugudu. So this would be every 5 days. So this is an example of the 2nd of July, which is yesterday. We can look at another example, which was the week before that. Then also we can add the Landsat data so as to query how often we can get an image for Gadugu, for example. So this one will be every 2 weeks. So this is a Landsat 9. Then there's also Landsat 8, which now we can always add, but now it's at 30 meters, as you remember. So when we query these two images, we'll be able to see how often it is possible to get an image for our area. So this is an example of 3rd of July, and this is an example of 11th of June. And now you can see another one. So at least every month you have 2 or 3 images. But the best one is the Sentinel, which is available every 5 days just to answer you. And then, of course, we have the Sentinel 2.1, which is a radar, which we can add as well. So then you filter by the location to actually get the image for the area. So it's a different image of May. So maybe they are not captured every month, once per month for the aspect of Sentinel-1. So I wish to pause there for any question. I think Anis has the microphone.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Kenneth. Thank you to everyone. Just Kenneth, regarding the same question that Rodrigue has asked, is easily products data regarding the land cover 10 meters are available and in Digital Africa platform? I think there is actually a data for 2023 also, and also for the ESA. ESA is all the listed, it is all the update data regarding the land cover of ESA are also available, or just the 20 and 2021 ones. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Anis. At the moment, we have 2021, and we're in the process of adding the latest one, 2023. And also for the World Settlement Print, we're in the process of adding the latest one, which was added 2023. So we are also trying to keep in trend with the trends, and it's something that you can work with, for example.
Thank you.
So thank you so much, everybody, for joining us in today's live session. Everything will be shared with you. Ours is just to, we are grateful for your support every week, making these sessions very impactful. I think this is just one of the 179th sessions since August 2022, showing you the commitment of this program to connect everyone in the continent. So thanking you so much, and I will be able to stop recording and I will do a group photo. Miss, thank you so much, everybody.